What's it going, guys? Huge1 back with another preview of another season. This time it's about to be season 6, and if you can't tell by the dates on screen, that's longer than 7 weeks. For the first time in chapter history, we have a season that is longer than 7 weeks. This one is now 10 weeks, as we have something big planned for this season. So what I have to say is get some popcorn because I could safely say that this is at least more than twice as big as the last season. So in this video, we will be explaining how this season is going to work. So let's get some popcorn. And let's get to the Season 5 rankings first. Now, this season is the final season to be using this format because we are switching over to a relegation and promotion system starting in Season 6. But it still doesn't hurt to take out the rankings from this season because why not? Because it also gives you a preview on what games are going to be in the schedule next season. Starting with our primary games, which is going to be renamed to something else when this season starts. In first place, even though it got first, doesn't mean it's safe because the primaries was basically games that I pick. Geometry Dash was fun and all, but it was super duper stressful for me to stream, so it will not be coming to the next season. Now, the reason why it was super stressful is because there's a lot of people that request a level, and then you got the people who beg over and over again because their level hasn't been played, even though they're just impatient to wait their turn. And then they've spammed the chat, making it harder for me to find other people's levels. And then it gets so bad to the point where YouTube actually cuts it off of my screen entirely, making it lost forever. And yeah, that, my friends, is part of the reason why I'm getting rid of this game. Another thing is because we always get levels that are really insanely impossible to beat, for me at least, at my skill level. Like, 90% of the levels are literally demon difficulty or demon layout levels. Or at least a really, really hard level that is somewhere in the higher end of the difficulties. So for that reason, Geometry Dash will not be coming next season. Second place in the primaries was Roblox. Yeah, they're going to be the number 1 seed now because Geometry Dash is gone. But there is going to be a lot of changes next season, but we'll get into that once we actually get into the next season portion. And then, of course, Fortnite got third in the primaries for the 100th season in a row. I'm kidding. It's not been that many seasons. But you get the point. They've been getting last in the primaries every season. But the only reason they haven't been demoted is because there's no relegation in the primaries. Until this upcoming season, that is. Because now there is. And I'll explain that in a minute. Next up is the secondary. It already had relegation, but it never had promotion. Again, that's changing starting this new season, so... and in first place in the secondary is Fish. And for that reason, I'm actually promoting them up to the primaries, which again has a new name. Which means now they're going to be competing against Roblox, and Fortnite, which I already announced was in there, and 2 other mystery games that you have to continue to watching. Well, I guess they're technically both the same game, just 2 different modes for it. But you'll have to watch to find out what they are. Alright, and in second place is Blox Fruits in the secondary. As for that result, they will remain in the secondary. And that basically means they're going to be competing against the games of that same skill level again in the next season. And then in third place is Hypercarts. Normally, what would happen is when a game gets last place in the secondaries, they're removed from the schedule entirely. That is not the case anymore, as instead, Hypercarts will just be relegated down to a league lower than this, because there's now, which is going to be the tertiaries, because it's now possible for the secondary games to get relegated down to the tertiaries. And there's even a fourth division, which would have been called the quaternaries if it weren't for my name changes. Which, if that doesn't hint that there's going to be a lot of first season games in this season, I don't know what will. All right, moving on to the season 6 games. That should say 6, not 5. I don't know why this still says 5, but you get the point. It's season 6 games. Every single season I make this trailer, I always mess something up, and this time it's this. Oh well. So let's start off with the huge Premier League. This is the new name for the primaries, and it's going to be the highest league possible. Now, each league has 5 games in it out of the 4 of them, and I want to explain each one because each one of them has a different number of promoted games and different number of relegated games. So for the huge Premier League, there are no promotions, as this is the highest league possible. So don't expect a game to go up if it reaches first place or second place, or depending on what league you're in. But this is the highest league possible. However, there is relegation now. The game that gets last place in this division will be relegated down to the second tier, which we'll announce once we get to it. So yeah, the first game here is Roblox. Also, take a look at their new logo. I don't know why it's blue. But Roblox has made it to season 6. This is their 6th season. We're going to see what they're going to be doing. But the reason why there's going to be a lot of changes now is because there are now several Roblox games in the schedule. And remember, if you haven't remembered since the past, all the way back in Season 2, there was always a rule that if a game is part of the schedule, it cannot be played in the regular Roblox stream like this one. That will remain in place for this season as well, as there is now a whole lot more Roblox games in the schedule that are pretty big, thanks to the new expansion. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to find anything to play that isn't part of the schedule, because I know a lot of the games that get picked every day are part of the schedule now, which again we'll announce in a second. But there's plenty of good ones that didn't make the schedule, so it's not a lost cause. So let's get on with the second game. The second game is Fortnite. This is the first time since Season 1 that they're the number 2 seed, actually. And this is their 6th season in the league. Nothing really changes with Fortnite this season because there hasn't been any new Fortnite game modes in the schedule. However, starting in this season, the polls will now allow Fortnite game modes to be in the polls and even start in the round of 64 if it's popular enough on Xbox, which there's actually 7 of them this season, and an 8th Fortnite game mode in another round. Now you're probably going to say, but Odin, you've done Fortnite game modes before. Well, I've only done ones that weren't owned by Epic. Now, games like Battle Royale, OG, Festival, Rocket Racing, stuff like that are now allowed in the polls, which means if it wins, if any of them were to win, which none of them did, well, I mean, I guess, well, we don't know if they will win or not because we haven't started that tournament yet, which is going to start on the 7th day of week 1 of this season and last throughout the rest of the season, so here's how that works, but if any of them were to win, the same rules would apply with Roblox. They would be banned from normal Fortnite streams, but in return, they get their own exclusive live streams, which is good because that's guaranteed 3 hours of watch time. And oh yeah, I also forgot to mention, each league has a different amount of live stream times. With the Premier League getting the longest, which is going to be 3 hours. Don't worry though, all of them are at least 90 minutes long. So if you're in the 4th tier, it's not going to be the end of the world. All right, moving on to the next game. The last time this game has been officially part of the schedule was Season 1, before it got relegated out of the secondary when there was only 2 divisions. Now it's back because I have a better plan for it now. We have a realm for it, and it's better than it was before because we actually have better advertisement skills than we did back in Season 1. Because back in Season 1, all we did was create a Minecraft world, then leave once that stream ends, and then everyone would be cut off. Now, starting in this season, well, I guess we actually started technically in Season 5, but it wasn't really 100% at that time. It was more of a test run, and that test run was successful. So Minecraft is back. It has a survival series, which means anyone can join this realm, and you can even play the realm when I'm not offline. That's the whole point of a realm, actually. So when I'm offline, you can actually join the realm. So, and each one of there's actually 5 realms. Well, not really 5 realms, 5 worlds. Each one of them has a different number of add-ons. They rotate they're now going to start rotating every 5 to 6 days when the new season begins. And the cycle's going to reset at green when we start the next season, because we're trying to line things up, because we're going to be having a second realm. And that second realm is actually going to be game number 4, which is going to be Minecraft Creative. Now, if you're going to think that we're going to have 5 creative worlds, yes, we are. However, all of them are going to be me building different mini games and stuff. Now, for the 5 games that we have for this season for the Minecraft mini games, we have a game called Minecarts, which is going to be a racing game. You'll get to build some tracks in that. Then we have Mineheimer Adventures, which is supposed to be a PvE game where you adventure through parts of buildings and stuff, or adventure through different lands and basically fight enemies and read stories. Probably not going to be great stories because I'm not the best writer, as English is one of my least favorite classes in high school. I mean, what do you expect from me? I'm autistic. I like math. But it's going to be something. And hopefully this series will pick up. And just the third game mode actually is called Craft Wars. Wait. Is that what it was called? I don't remember what I named it. No, it was called Craft Battlegrounds. I wanted to name it Craft Wars, but there's a Roblox game called that, so I didn't. Craft Battlegrounds it's basically just a PvP simulator. You can just fight each other to death for an eternity, if all I care. So, yeah. It's basically you pick whatever weapon you want. Also, all these worlds are going to have add-ons because I paid for it, because I'm not going to just create a game mode and not have it have add-ons, because that's boring. We've tried that numerous times in the past, and it's to the point where it's boring now. The next game mode after that is going to be Hugeville. Normally I use this as a city name that I always like to make up, but now it's going to be the name of a game where it's going to be like you get to build. We're going to be building a city, and it's basically going to be designed to be a role play game. Because why not? I mean, I needed something to fill this spot in, so I did. And then the last game is probably going to be the big one. It's going to be Craft Battle Royale. We've done the Battle Royale in the past, a long time ago actually, when we were still streaming on Omelette Arcade. The Omelette Arcade VPN system allowed us to easily have friends join in. Hopefully we get some players to build here as well. It's going to be using add-on weapons this time as well, which means the Battle Royale is going to be more fun than it was back in the old world. Now the weapons you'll find and the armor you'll find, depending on what chests you get and where you land, will determine this. Now, once every season, we will upload, at the end of each season, we will upload all 10 realms from both the Survival series and the Creative series to an app that is available on both Apple and Android for everyone to download and play on their own. And for PC players, I will also be uploading it somewhere else as well, which I forgot the name of. I will remember that once we get towards the end of the next season, because I have it bookmarked. So don't worry if you lose. So guess what? It's worth it to join this realm. So once the realm codes are live, which I guess one of them is live right now as the time, that's the survival realm. The creative one, I've created the realm, yes, but I have not shared the realm code yet, which we will once the first creative live stream begins, which will be on the 4th day of the new season. So now for the 5th and final game in the Premier League is a game called Fish. Remember how I said earlier it was promoted? This is what I meant. Fish is going to be competing against the 2 Minecraft game modes alongside Fortnite and regular Roblox, which I believe it can stay up. But this season, I don't know what we're going to be doing, actually. I hope there's a big update soon, because I now have purchased the 200,000 euro rod from Second Sea, which means I don't know what to do in Second Sea anymore. Other than grind money. I hope they add another expansion to the Second Sea, because I've already beaten the Second Sea really quickly. Unless if you count catching the exotic fish and stuff, but I haven't really done any of that. I'm guessing what the main focus for this season is to save up for the internal prism rod, which is 15 million coins, which is very well doable since this is a 10-week season. I feel like we can get it done in like 3 weeks, actually. As long as I don't skip streams. So, I very well believe that we can do that. And once we do that, I guess the goal after that is to complete Bestiaries, because there's really nothing else to do other than that. Or I could just help other people progress in the game, especially in Mariana's Vale, because I do like doing that too. Alright, now we're moving on to the second league. Wow, it took a while to get through the first one. I guess it'll take a really long time to make this video then. Welcome to the Huge Champions League. The Huge Championship League. This is the second tier. This was formerly known as the Secondaries, and now it's called the Huge Championship League. Again, there are 5 games in here. Games in this division will have 2.5-hour live streams. So it's only 30 minutes shorter than the Premier League, because this is a tier lower. Now, the huge Championship League has one promotion spot, which means the game that finishes in first in this group of games will be promoted to the huge Premier League, replacing the game that gets relegated from the Premier League and down to here. And for the number of relegated games, there is actually 2, which means if you place 4th or 5th, you will be going down to the 3rd level. Now, the thing about the first 2 leagues, which the huge Premier League and the huge Championship League, they will be streamed during day streams only, while the other 2 leagues below this one will be streamed at night. So sometimes it could help to get relegated, but at the same time it might hurt, depending on where you live. And that's simply because most of my viewers are come from the daytime, while a minority of you guys come from the middle of the day, and as proven on Thursday, barely anyone comes on in the middle. So yeah, normally at 6 p.m. is not the time for me to live stream it, even though I like doing that because it's like a chance for my brother to play freaking games. But I'll probably still do that anyways, but I don't know. Alright, so the first game in the Championship League, also known as game number 6 overall, is Blox Fruits. Somehow they survived not getting 3rd in the secondary, so they are still going to be here. They are going to be in this league, and we will continue to grind more levels for another 10 weeks. Now, currently we are in the 1900s range when it comes to our level, which means we still have a lot of leveling up to do, even though we've been playing this game for 4 seasons now. 3rd C is just a really long C in general, and it doesn't help that everybody wants me to go to 2nd and 1st C to do what they want to do, but I'm still okay with doing that, but it's just going to take forever. It just prolongs the grind period. Now, I do have a crew in this game now that I created towards the end of this last season. It's called the 1000 Cat Army. There's a few members in there already. If you want to join me, if you want to join that, just let me know while I'm streaming Blox Fruits, and I can invite you to the group. And it's a not, and we don't kick people out of that group either, so feel free to join that group whenever you want. So, yeah, for Blox Fruits, again, we're going to continue grinding. We're going to also try to get our mastery up for our light fruit, because that's the one that's already been the highest on. And then once I do that, I'll probably pick another fruit to work with. I mean, I have a bunch of fruits that I can work with. Who knows what fruits I'll have by the time I get done with light fruit, because we do what's called trades. Sometimes we do trades. Once every few weeks or so, we have a series of trades. I call them trade battles because it's more of a sport than it is anything else. It's basically, will the opponent bite? Because the goal for me when it comes to trading is to actually trade lower value for higher value. Sometimes that doesn't always happen, but I have done that majority of the amount of times, meaning I'm technically gaining more revenue, gaining more Blox Fruit value as I do that. And every single time, it may be by little each time, but over time, if you do that like 1,000 times, the value is going to increase so high that you could even get rare fruits like Kitsune and Dragon. That's why I trade like the way I do, because it's more of a sport. So, yeah, that's for trades. As terms of awakening and stuff, it might not be really easy for me now because I'm using light fruit again. Because it's a lot easier with Buddha, not gonna lie. And it's also, but it will become easier as I level up. That's why I want to level up, so I can actually help people do stuff without having to sacrifice my fruit. Now, I have fully awakened light with the help of my fans. I forgot what your names were, but shout out to you guys for helping me do that. Yeah, once I reach a higher enough level, I can actually help people. That's the thing. And hopefully one day I kill that stupid killer shark that kills me in the ocean every day. So, yeah. So that is basically Blox Fruits for this upcoming season. So, yeah. Moving on to game number 7 is a game that has been bean boozled towards the end of the polls during Season 4 to qualify and failed to qualify to Season 5 because of that. Because they lost in the last 15 minutes of that poll. However, this season's different. They managed to, I think they managed to get to the championship. Let me see the results real quick. It's 10 p.m., which means the polls are still live, but not for much longer. Because they're in the championship right now, which means they could become GA Cup champions, which that's going to be the name of our tournament starting this upcoming season. And, yep, there it is. There's 3 votes for Asphalt Legends Unite, according to the polls that I'm reading right now. So, yeah, Asphalt Legends Unite, I'm guessing, is GA Cup champions. This is the first time a racing game has ever won the tournament. And I want to congratulate you guys for that. And for that reason, you guys are game number 7. As this is your first season. So we don't know much on how much views this is going to get. There's so many things we don't know about this game. This is a racing game. It's a fun racing game. I know it's fun. Even though I haven't played it, I know it's fun. Because I've seen gameplay trailers on it ever since I was studying it towards the end of the poll, so I'm quite excited to play this, actually. Because it looks very similar to Rocket Racing. And I actually like playing Rocket Racing, too. However, no one else does, sadly. So, again, there's so many unknowns I have about this game. So we're about to find out what happens. Game number 8 is second place in the polls. Is going to be our runner-ups, and that is Valorant. This game, just like Asphalt Legends Unite, has also been bean boozled multiple seasons in the polls, and they are now finally here in the schedule. Now, Valorant is basically a Counter-Strike-like game mode where you have to basically search and destroy, which is a very common game mode that a lot of esports play, where you have to... Let me explain this into easy terms. You have the attackers and the defenders. I don't know if that's what that's called in this game, but that's what I'm going to call them here in this video. The attacker's goal is that they get a bomb or a device that's meant to destroy something. They take that device and they take it over to either the A site or the B site, because normally there is 2 sites that they can destroy. They have to plant the bomb there, or whatever device the game uses, and if it detonates, you win. If it doesn't detonate, there's still other ways to win, but The only other way to win is to kill all of the defenders. Now, if you're a defender, your goal is to stop others from having the bomb blow up, or the device, or whatever game calls it, because there's several games of this genre that have different names for it. Now, the ways the defenders can win is if they either kill all of the attackers while the bomb is not planted, or they defuse the bomb. And normally there's about, like, I'm guessing 7 to 10 rounds. If with the exception of esports, they have up to maybe 30 in regulation. But we're not in an esport, so they're not going to do that. Now Valorant is a pretty big esport, I have to say this. It's not as big as Counter-Strike, but there's still a bunch of teams that you can route for when it comes to the esports market. But again, my favorite esport is still going to be Counter-Strike, even though I haven't really watched it in a while. So yeah, Valorant is going to be second place in the GA Cup this season, and that is why they are here in this league today. Next game is called The Strongest Battlegrounds. This is a game that has been requested for multiple seasons now, but has never made it to the end. That changed today, actually, because now they are officially part of the schedule. Now, in terms of the gameplay, though, it's probably going to be the same every live stream, because I'm not going to lie to you, there's not much you can do other than beat each other up with characters over and over again. And since we have to do that for 2.5 hours, I'm kind of predicting that this game might fall off because of that. Because I don't think everybody's going to want to do that for 2.5 hours every single time we play this game. So eventually that could lead to this game's regulation, unless if we attract new people. So just keep that in mind, because they need to add things to do. Now, there is a 1v1 mode, but we'd never used that. And we don't ever play in public servers either, because majority of the people don't like that. So basically what I feel like is we're trapped in a tiny box with the same people every single live stream. And there's going to be at least, I think, around 12 of these. So I feel like it could be torturous if you don't know what you're doing. So yeah, that is going to be that. So they're going to be our 9th game. They were 3rd place in the GA Cup, because there is now a 3rd place match to determine that. And then 4th place in the GA Cup belongs to Deathball, as they are the final game to qualify for the 2nd division of the relegation and promotion system. And that is Deathball. Yes, I know, it's not Blade Ball, it's Deathball. That's because, again, somehow this game made it in the schedule over its main rival, which is more popular than this one. Deathball is basically like Blade Ball, except you have 3 lives and you have crazy abilities. Now, the goal is to basically hit the ball back and forth and not get hit. What the ball does is it homes after you, and your goal is to deflect it whenever you time, and you have to time it correctly. If you don't time it correctly, you'll get hit. Now I can see some people getting mad, but they don't. But we'll see. We will see how this game performs in this upcoming season. Deathball's been a weird game to make it here, but it did. So, yeah. Well, now we're moving on to the Night Stream Leagues, which there are 2 of them. This is Huge League 1, And I'm guessing that basically spoils what the name of the next one is going to be easily. It's going to be this because the last one is going to be called Huge League 2, but we'll get to that in a minute. In Huge League 1, there are 5 games, as all divisions have 5 games. Now, there are 2 games that are promoted out of this one, which means this league promotes the most amount of games. So that means if you finish first or second in this group, you get promoted up to the championship and become a day stream in the next season. However, there is still one relegation spot, which means if you place in 5th, you will be relegated down to the League 2, which is the last league before you get kicked out of the schedule entirely, because there is relegation in the last league as well. That is different than the rest of the leagues. So, but for now, let's get on with this. The length of how long live streams are in this league is 2 hours. So the stream time isn't as much as the other two leagues above it, but it's more than the one that has. It's going to be longer than League 2's. So basically, that's that. Now, qualifying for this tournament qualifying for this division in the initial season, because we had to expand, were the games that placed 5th through 8th in the GA Cup, and the game that placed last place in the secondary this season. And if you remember when I said who it was Hypercarts. I was literally live streaming in its final live stream of the season. In its final chance to not get relegated, it only scored 15 views. So that's why they got relegated down here. Kind of upset about that, actually, because I actually love this game. But I have to follow by the rules, which means Hypercarts has been relegated down to this league. Which means it's now going to be solely night streams. Which is kind of sad. But it's oh well, I guess. At least they're part of the schedule still. Now, Hypercarts is basically Roblox's version of, well, I guess one of Roblox's versions of Mario Kart. Because there's actually several, and there's about to be even more coming out, because if you're in the Karting Collective's Discord server, you should know that there's a bunch of them in development right now. Including Karts, Roblox Karts, Karting Revolution, and many more. But the big one is, oh gosh, I'll do my lesson when I'm done filming my video. Duo. There's not too many items in this game yet. Hopefully they make more, because red shells are still very common in this game. I feel like they should add more weapons to the game, but the weapons should be like skill-based weapons, which means you have to be precise with it. Or use a specific strategy to make it work. Which, I can come up with plenty of ideas, which could be inspired by Beach Buggy Racing, for example. There's so many items in that game that all have a different use. So, feel free to take that as an idea. Now, hopefully this season, this game does not get relegated again, because I don't want this game to go down to League 2, because League 2 is like what I like to nickname the Death League, which you'll see why when I get to it. But the 12th game is going to be its first season, Bed Wars. Now, this is the Roblox version, by the way, not the Minecraft version and not the Fortnite version. Because I know there's 3 different versions, especially Hypixel, which I don't even have access to that because it's only on Java. Yeah, the server us Bedrock players play on is CubeCraft and the Hive, as well as Lifeboat. and I guess Glaxite, but I'm not sure if Glaxite's version is really that good. But the one thing that's common in every single Bed Wars game from all three major platforms on Roblox, Fortnite, and Minecraft is I suck horribly at them. I always lose. I always get bean boozled by campers that camp your base and kill you and then break your bed. It doesn't matter. I desperately don't like this game mode for that reason, but I gotta play it anyways because you guys picked this to be in the schedule. So, yay! I get to torture myself playing Bed Wars. At least it's only in League One and not in the championship. Because forbid that were to ever happen. But again, we're gonna hope that we can actually do something in the game for once. Moving on to the 13th game is a game called Destiny 2. I actually don't know too much about this because I've never played it before. Like, this is the game I have the least amount of knowledge on. So it's going to be like playing... It's going to be like hearing about a game for the first time ever when I go live for the first time. Like, if you were to ask me a question about Destiny 2, I would not know the answer to anything. Like, not even... I don't even know how to play. I don't even know how to play the game because I've never played this before. But it made the schedule, so... That changes this season, so if you're excited for that, feel free to watch the stream and watch me miserably fail at trying to figure out how to play this game. I don't know. I doubt I'll miserably fail, but we're going to figure it the frick out so that we can make the most of Destiny 2 while it's in the schedule. Game number 14 is a game that I never expected to make the schedule, but it did anyways. Starlit Cart. Now, I played this before in the past because I was bored when I was a child and didn't have any money, and I just wanted to play a free game. That it was a racing game, and I found this game. I played it, and it was kind of interesting. They have their own upgrade system in place, as well as their own vehicles and stuff. And they have a ranked mode, too. And you're basically, what you got to do is just race each other. And now, there's another mobile game, but that's not on Xbox. Also, this is also available on mobile as well, but I'm going to be playing this on Xbox because racing games are meant to be played on Xbox. Let's be realistic. Or Xbox or PlayStation. Basically, or with a controller on a PC. Because I feel like controller is the best way to play a racing game. But Starlit Cart is basically that. If you've played Starlit on Wheels before, which is another game, they have custom tracks that you can build. Which is quite nice. It's like Super Mario Maker, but Mario Kart, kind of. Like, some of the tracks in there are quite stupid, though, so just be warned when you play Starlit on Wheels. But that's not in the schedule. This is the one that's in it. This is basically their official tracks and stuff like that in the game. I have no idea what they've added to the game, because it's been several years since I last played this. But y'all voted for this, so it's here now, and I gotta play it again. And the 15th and final game in this league is Halo Infinite Multiplayer. I'm actually really excited to play this because this is one of my favorite shooter games, even though I haven't played many shooter games in a while because I've just been playing Minecraft and watching YouTube. But Halo Infinite is basically a shooter game. Now, what the version of Halo we're going to be playing in this is Halo Infinite Multiplayer, since that's the only one that's free to play. And I mainly focus on free-to-play games because everybody can play the game. The only exception is Save the World, because I feel like they deserve to be in the schedule anyways. That's the only exception, because you have to pay for that game in-game. And it's not really that bad once you buy it. It's popular enough to sustain a fan base. So, Halo Infinite multiplayer might not have that same effect with campaign. So that's why, again, I don't really do that in the polls. And the campaign was really short because I've actually played the campaign before. It's not really that long, and we could probably get it done in like 2 live streams, and that's it. Yeah, campaign in like 2 streams is ridiculous. I remember Halo games being much longer than just 4 hours of gameplay. Um, like I remember playing Halo 3 ODST. Yeah, that's how old some of the games I played are from. And who knows what the future of Halo is going to be like. Now, I like this game mainly because of its movement. Its movement is unique, and you would never find it in any other game. Like, their jump height is a lot higher than it is in most games. And the weapons, they don't have scopes, so you actually have to shoot the gun like it's in Fortnite, basically, like it's Fortnite Chapter 1. There's a couple of guns that have scopes, but a majority of the main weapons and stuff do not, so good luck shooting, guys. It's gonna be fun. There's several different game modes to play as well. There's Oddball, which is basically hold on to an object for as long as you can and score points. Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch, Capture the Flag, Hardpoint, and many more. And you can even customize the rules to make it fit your style. Like if I wanted to make like a micro battle royale, I could. Because I could set the life count to 1 and basically the last one standing would win. And I mean that's what I used to do with bots when I played Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And that was kind of fun. And yeah, that's basically going to be the story for Halo Infinite. We'll see how that happens. And we'll see who wins and loses in this league. Now, the final league is huge. Is Huge League 2. This is the lowest league possible, so it's going to be known as the Death League. Well, that's not the main reason why it's called the Death League. Do you want to know what the main reason this is called the Death League for? Is because there are 4 games getting relegated out of this league, and 1 gets promoted, which means every single game in this league will be switching out of that league within the next season. Only 1 game gets promoted, so if you don't get promoted, you're basically relegated. And relegation from this league means elimination from this schedule entirely, as you will be switched with the 4 winners from the GA Cup. Which, again, we will get to that in a minute or two. And there are 5 games in this one as well. I know I keep saying this over and over again. It might be getting annoying, but I just keep forgetting. And I just want people to remember because, yeah. So the games that are in this league are very small compared to most of the games. And the reason is the games that started here or start in this division is the games that placed 9th to 12th place in the GA Cup. As well as me picking 1 game to be in the schedule just because why not? Because I needed to fill in, so I did pick 1 game to start here. So the first game in this league is Evade. This is the game. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention how long the live streams will be in Huge League 2. They will be an hour and a half, so they're not going to be very long. If you want longer streams, you got to get promoted first. So yeah, that's that. But Evade is going to be the first game here in this league. Now, for Evade, the goal is to run away from next spots. And this is also on Roblox, by the way. And you basically want to survive. Now, I do find this game quite hard because the next spots are very, very fast and sometimes are smart too when you try to hide. And I feel like it's like real players are playing as them, but they're really not. Who knows what the next spots are like nowadays? It's been a while since I actually had this be played. Now this is a fun game as well. I could play. There's several different server types. There's I believe a VC server, but I don't have VC enabled, so because I turned it off because I'm not doing that thing where I get warned by moderators from Roblox for no reason. I'd rather just use Discord VC because it's easier and isn't censored by anything. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, Evade's going to be trying to survive for this season in this league. So we'll find out who wins or loses. It's important to get first place in this league. So good luck. The second game here is Shrimp Game, which the goal is to survive as long as possible in several different mini games, and only one of them is going to win. It's kind of similar to Fall Guys, except it's got a specific group of mini games because this game is based off of a Netflix show called Squid Game. And cross your fingers you win the show because it's really hard. And the mini games are randomized each time, so I think so at least. So yeah, hopefully I don't die because I'm probably going to lose a few times before I win. So yeah, this game is going to be in 17th overall because I do go in order by numbers. Each game's got a number. This one says number 17. Number 18 is going to be a game called The Finals. This is a kind of new game. It came out, I think, last year, if I remember correctly. And now it's officially made the schedule. And the goal is to basically... Now, let me know if I'm wrong if it did come out last year or not. It could have came out a while back, but I just don't know. But this is a game where 4 teams of 4 compete to capture objectives and earn money. If you die, you do respawn. And initially, I thought this was going to be a Battle Royale, but it wasn't. So, yeah, that is that. Now, the finals is going to be very, very interesting. It is a shooter, so I kind of wonder how I'm going to play this. Hopefully, I succeed and not screw up. And who knows if there's multiple mini-games modes, because I've not played this ever. Alright, game number 19 is Starlit Adventures. I've played this game before, too, because, again, I was looking for free games because I was bored, and then I found this one. Now, I have beaten this game before, but there's also an endless mode that I can play once I beat the game. And I can tell you from experience, it's not easy. Last time I played this game was on PlayStation, so... maybe it will be different now that I'm playing on Xbox. I guess it's not going to be many different that I'm playing on Xbox, but... other than the fact that I don't have any progress. Now, there also is an endless mode as well. It's kind of like a puzzle. It's kind of a puzzle game. But it's also quite unique. And yes, if you can't tell, it is owned by the same people who made Starlet Carts. Well, this one was the original game, I believe. Originally, these games were made for mobile, I think, but they ported a lot of these over to console. I hope they port Starlet on Wheels, because I feel like that game is good for its custom tracks. And yeah. Now, the 20th and final game in the schedule is the one that I manually put in the schedule, is Karting League. This is another Roblox racing game. It's a little different than the other one, but there are a few key differences to Hypercarts and Karting League. For one, you can block items in this game, which means red shells aren't as annoying in this game as they were in the other one. There is more vehicles as well. However, this game is more prone to bugs than the other one is, so if you find a bug, go to the Discord server for Hypercarts and please report it for the health and safety of this game. Because I've encountered way too many bugs in this game over the years of playing this, like getting flung in the air, getting extreme lag spikes. We actually had one recently during the 3rd anniversary live stream for this game, and it was laggy. And thankfully that problem has been solved because it had something to do with the item boxes. Yeah, apparently whoever coded it didn't code it right, so it got recoded, I assume. And now there's less lag, so yay for that. Now there is different cars you can select, and there's several different tracks. Now I would say the one thing I do say about this game is that the boosting is insane. So if you haven't already, I would give this game a try. So let's go ahead and do that. And now that you've been through all the games, let's actually announce what our Discord server is going to be about. In our Discord server, we currently have at least 90 members in the server. So if you guys want to join, feel free to join. The server has several benefits. We have several VC channels that you guys can talk in. I'm going to be working on that soon, because there's going to be different ones depending on the game you want to play. And I will be trying to use these VCs as well. For the GA Cup bracket, it will also be on the Discord server, so just look for the channels that say as first round, second round, third round, fourth round, and so on, and you will find the brackets there. Now, at the current state of the polls for that is that the first round is going to be exclusive to the 16 worst Roblox games that did make the polls, and the 16 best Fortnite games that made the polls and did not start in the 4th. So that's just going to be a hint there. We'll talk more about that once we get to that segment of this video. Minecraft Realm updates will be on here, which means you will see the dates that each and every single game will be played. I know that's changed a lot recently, but that's because the season format has changed several times before I even got an official season format. Because originally we were going to just do another 7 week season. Then I changed it to 8. And then after that I changed it to 10. So because originally we were going to have 4 groups of 4 games, but if that were I did some deep thinking about that, and if we did go with that, all 4 games from the lowest tier would be relegated. So we had to add a 5th one in. So yeah, that's going to be the story of this upcoming season. And I would say good luck about that. Now, there's also going to be tables for the leaderboards of the games, so you will know exactly which game is most likely going to get relegated or promoted, or just staying in the league in general by looking at the bracket. Every cycle, or every half of a cycle, which is basically 5 days, or 5 official days, which in a definition of an official day is a day that happens on Monday through Saturday. Sundays are the only exception because they are not really, they're more like break days. So although the season is 70 days, 60 of them will be official days, while Sunday is more of a recreational day. It's optional for me to live stream there. And most of the streams that I do there are most likely going to be our watch-alongs, which our watch-alongs are basically Liverpool, Ravens, and U.S. men's national team when they have their games again. But right now the only active league is Liverpool. And that's about to stop too because the season's almost over. So yeah. And then the final thing is you guys will be pinged whenever I upload, as there will be a separate channel called Video Square. There's only 2 YouTubers in it right now, which is me and my brother. I could add more in the future, but you will only be pinged when I make a video, because I don't want anyone getting pinged on something that isn't mine and then just have it be something stupid. So no offense to anyone who does manage to make it to Video Square. But this Discord server is basically about my YouTube channel, so yeah. Now we are approaching 100 members, so as long as we get 3 members to join the Discord, we should be able to get that. So yeah. I don't know why I still have this in this PowerPoint presentation, but this manages to fail every single season. I had it since season 3, but it really never kicked off. That's basically our Roblox community. It used to be called groups when I first created it, but now it's called communities. There's only 11 people in there. But if you want to join the Roblox community, feel free to do so. You can find it on my Roblox profile if you click on it. And I can guarantee I'll take you to that. So yeah. That is basically our Roblox group. It's more of a chatting place. There's not a lot of messages there yet. You can also set up a store. Everyone's permissions are enabled here, meaning everyone's got like basically moderator level permissions here, regardless what your rank is. Because I want this community to feel different than Discord. And I want to encourage creativity here. So if you want to create a catalog item and sell it here, feel free to do so. I don't care. As long as it's not something that would violate Roblox terms of service, I'm okay with it. All right, next up is our Fortnite creator code. We do have a creator code. If you use code HugeOdin1, you can support my creator. This is one of the benefits I've received for reaching 1,000 subscribers, which happened almost a year ago now. However, I never really set up officially set up a creator code until October of last year, towards the start of Season 2. Which it was a huge blessing that we actually did get a code, because it took way too long to reach 1,000 subscribers, in my opinion, because it took 6 years. Longer than most people that... Well, not most people. Longer than a lot of people, though, that I've seen grow. Like, there's so many YouTubers that I've been subscribed to nowadays that it's basically surpassed my sub count easily, so... Yes, so if you want to subscribe, feel free to subscribe. Our next goal is 2,000 subscribers. We will be doing another 10-hour live stream when that happens, as well as alongside that, we will also be doing another giveaway and another Q&A. And hopefully this one does not fail, because the last one failed miserably, and I was very disappointed in the 1,000 subscribers version. But this time we should be twice as popular as we were when we have 1,000 subscribers. So hopefully we get twice as many cute questions than we did last time. But that's going to be a long time from now. And the giveaway, well, last time I just hosted a Fortnite tournament. I hosted 2 of them, actually. And everyone just got V-Bucks, basically. So, yeah. Now for the huge GA Cup. Now, I've been talking a lot about this. Here's the format. There are 9 rounds, and depending on what seed your game is, will determine where it starts. Now, if you are in the top 48 seeds, which is basically all of our Xbox games and a couple of Fortnite games as well, they will be starting in the Group Octofinals on June 7th, so you will have to wait a while before your games go to the polls. And some of you do not even have an opponent yet in this round, because you'll be awaiting your opponent from that is going to be competing in previous rounds. Then you got the 48 middle seeded games, which is going to be our top 48 Roblox games that aren't in the schedule already. And basically what that means is... And there is an exception to that. No, well, actually, not really an exception, but those 48 games will be Roblox games. And the best ones will advance to the next round. and then after that you get the 32 lowest seeded games. All of them will start in the tertiaries, which there will be 16 Roblox games starting there, which will be the 16 which those 16 worst Roblox games that made the polls, meaning you have to be in the top 64, but 48 of those 64 will be in the secondaries and 16 will be in the tertiaries. And now the other 16 games in the tertiaries will be Fortnite games. They will be the top 16. Now, you'll see a couple of popular game modes from Fortnite. I decided to bring it into this polls again, but not as many Fortnite games as we've had in the past, because in the past there were 64 and only one of them made it, and that was Save the World, as a lot of them failed to qualify for anything. So, and a lot of them are just small in general. And there was also misinformation spurting around during that season, because everyone thought it was the Roblox version of Bed Wars when they were in the polls. But in reality, it was Fortnite. In fact, hint hint, both of the Bed Wars are in the polls again. Actually, not again, but the other Bed Wars from Fortnite is in the polls this season. So yeah. And that is going to be that. Now, here's basically what this channel's about. If you're looking for gaming videos, funny videos, and streams where I play with viewers, then you definitely came to the right place. Now, I haven't updated my About page, but I also do watch-alongs now. Whenever I get the chance. I don't always get the chance to. Because yeah, I think our next major watch-along stream is going to be Liverpool at Chelsea. So for my Liverpool supporters, we're now champions of the Premier League, and we're going to be continuing to watch some more games. Now, these are watch-along streams. They're not streams of actual games, because that is illegal. You're not allowed to share and redistribute the actual screen of a game. You're allowed to do watch-alongs, but you're not allowed to broadcast a game, because I know I've seen someone ask me to do that. So I had to send out a reality check that copyright exists. However, you will still be able to see the score. On the top right corner of the screen, you will be able to see the score. There will also be watch-alongs with other sports, but the only other sport we're doing is American football. And that is going to be for the Baltimore Ravens, but they are not going to have a single NFL game during Season 6. That's going to start during Season 7 of this YouTube channel, when they play their games later in August. Which I'm still waiting to find out what the next NFL schedule is, so I can actually make a schedule for the NFL. But the only thing is that I'm only going to schedule a live stream if it's within a week from now. Because I don't want to just have the live stream scheduled for 3 weeks and then have it not, or longer, or actually really long, especially months from now. And then have it not work. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoy this new season. And I will see you guys in the new season. Peace.